Hi, everybody. Dennis Foley from Acoustic Fields. We're here today with Mike. Mike is going to be using some of our technology in his live room and his control room. So we're going to get his impressions of how the room sounded in our studio today. We always like to start with the low end. So what do you think?
Tight. Tight and defined.
It's amazing, isn't it? All the way down into 30 cycles.
Yeah, that bass organ we were listening to was amazing. I mean, all the way down to your gut, but defined also, not just the ugly, feeling of something's there, but it's you can actually hear it and feel it.
Yeah, it's got layers to it, and it's interesting how the carbon treats the energy. It lets it run just enough so it's defined and not bloated.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the second time in this room, and I came back, and I was prepared to not be as impressed as the first time. The soundstage is huge. And I just came out of my control room listening to music this morning and playing some guitar and whatnot, and it's shocking, actually.
Yeah, and these are horn speakers that are old, and in fact, a couple of them are... the drivers have damage on them and stuff, but...
You're not listening to the speaker anymore, you're listening to the room.
Isn't it great to be able to do that?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, because the electronics of today have come so far, and the speaker technology and the amplifier technology have come real far, but room technology is not kept up. People just don't understand how important it is.
Yeah, you sound like Ethan Weiner now.
I know.
But he's got it right. I mean, it's all about... this sounds better than, my speakers, and, mine are probably 50 times more expensive, but, my room right now, as you know, I'm putting the control room back together from a remodel, and, it's, a world of difference.
Yeah.
An absolute world of difference, yeah.
And our foam, our room, both sidewall reflections are covered, with our foam, so that's, something that I think you notice in the middle and high frequency.
Yeah. Once again, and I said it last time. It's it's beautiful to be able to listen to an instrument play, an electric guitar or a horn or hand percussion, and then hear the reverb trails and hear that soundstage the way they're intended to be heard. I mean, and you can hear them because the clarity's there, and that's the function of as we know. It's all built on the bass. If you don't have the low end, it's going to muddy everything up on top of it. And so now the bass center control, got nice sidewall control, so we're not getting any kind of flutter echo. We're not getting secondary reflections. We've essentially taken out the wall behind us, and then we hear a real soundstage. It sounds like we have a concert going on in front of us, and a wide one at that.
Wider than the room.
By a long shot.
We actually made the sound stage wider by making the room smaller.
Yeah, right.
A little bit counterintuitive.
Right.
But if you use the right technologies, and they're powerful and effective enough, you can do that. And you're right. It's so important to get the low end right. That's why we have in this room over 4,000 pounds of carbon in the room. So it's really gives you lots of bass and definition.
Oh, yeah. And you can hear it. I mean,
And when the note is done, it's done.
It's done. Right.
It doesn't load the room and continue to cause the room to produce sound on its own. And that's the neat thing about the carbon is the decay and attack rate. So that's really cool.
And the room sounds good just talking right now. I mean, you can hear it. We're hearing a nice conversation. It's not overly dead like a lot of control rooms you go into where you feel like, I got to get out of here. Because I've gone into the third dimension somehow.
I know, the pressure levels are so weird and skewed. Overabsorption is a problem, and our foam rates of absorption were always designed not to let that happen. Yeah. We just didn't want any part of that. And that's the curves that we have do that. So, yeah. Well, any other comments that you'd like to say? How about the diffusion? Most small rooms have poor diffusion. We have a very small room here. We have lots of absorption, but it's not too dead.
No, that's what I was saying. I mean, we're having a nice conversation. We're not choked off. It doesn't feel like you're gasping for air in this room. Once again, I mean, it doesn't.
Diffusion on the rear wall.
I don't feel like I have a wall behind me when I'm listening to music. I'm not catching any of that
slap.
No slap off. Yeah.
It's amazing. And you're 3.5, 4 feet away from diffusers. diffusers, front and rear walls.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
great.
Yeah.
Great.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Great.
A lot.
Well, you're
I
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike.